What's going on, y'all? Rick with Rickandkidshobbytime. You can see all that stuff up there says. This video is going to be set up a little bit different. I'm actually going to be sitting on the couch with a makeshift workbench in front of me with all of our weather changes that have been going on lately. Hot, cold, rain, cold, rain, hot rain, everything. I've got a bad knee and a bad back, and those have been acting up. So standing over at the workbench is just not an option at the moment. So I've got a makeshift workbench, and we've got some pretty awesome parts. So we've got M2C ESC plate, and I haven't opened this part yet, the upper chassis brace kit for our Redcat Racing Landslide XTE. So a huge shout out to No Problems Computer and Hobby. Again, watching your videos and finding you in the Redcat Facebook group. Appreciate it, man. Getting these parts here, it was quick. I think I ordered them Saturday, Friday, something like that. It's Wednesday, they're here, and we're gonna put this on. So, like I said, this video is gonna be a little bit different. Check out No Problems Computer and Hobby. I'll make sure I put a link to his website down below. He's also, not only does he have his YouTube channel, but he also sells parts. He's an authorized M2C dealer. He's an authorized Redcat dealer. Check out his website if you're looking for anything. He's got some other, he's got Arrma stuff too. I think he's got a couple Kratons for sale up there. So go ahead, show him some love, check him out, and yeah, let's get to it. Alrighty, y'all, so sorry for the fan noise, but it's kind of hot out here currently. Now, what we get in our kit for the ESC plate is the plate, 2 drill bits, and 3 screws. So, I've already gone ahead and watched M2C Racing's YouTube video on how to do this. Got to shave this down, because we're not going to use this half where the ESC goes anyway. And then be careful when you're doing that. Normally when you have it set up, there's wires that are going through here. Be careful you don't pack those off on accident. And then saw that. So the problem I had was I didn't go straight down in, kind of went at an angle on one or both of them, and they didn't want to line up. So that would be something I note if you're going to do this for yourself. make sure that before you put the metal plate up there, you kind of actually drill out the plastic the way you're supposed to and make that a lot easier. So there's that. You can go and do double-sided tape and stick your speed controller here, which I'm going to do for this video. But what I'm going to do off camera after the video is done is I'm going to take what I had mocked up to go in the actual stock mounting holes on the speed controller, and I'm going to line this up and mark holes off camera and drill them. That way I don't have to worry about just double-sided tape holding this in place, because you know, if you've watched any of our videos, you understand that I'm pretty rough on stuff. And when I was talking to the owner of No Problems Computer and Hobby, he did mention that in their testing, they did come up with that, or he personally has a problem, or had a problem, with double-sided tape letting go. And that makes sense, considering double-sided tape is only so strong, and this metal is nice and smooth. So I will be doing that off camera. I would probably suggest the same thing for you if you plan on doing this. So that's not perfect, and that's okay, because I'm just going to take it off here a little bit anyway. Now we're going to get on to the part that I was really super excited about. And quite honestly, I could have done without having that speed controller plate, but it really wasn't a whole lot more to add it. It adds a little more rigidity to this already pretty rigid chassis, and it just kind of gives you a peace of mind, or at least it's going to give me a peace of mind. Alright, now, in this kit, we've got a stiffener plate, a screw, a drill bit, motor mount, some more stuff for the motor mount, another bunch of bits and bobs. Alrighty, y'all, so, yeah. I put you guys on pause to watch the video, and I had a buddy that ended up coming over, and we just kind of figured it out off camera. So I figured I would just kind of point out what we learned and what we figured out here. Alright, I'm going to use my drivers as a pointer, excuse me. Alright, so in the kit, you get these little L brackets. There it goes, right there. Alright, those, you just use these little button head screws right there, and they attach to that one hole just to attach it to the overall plate. Then you get this little like half moon bracket thing. Those go down through the top of your steering rack on the rear holes here. And then let's see, this plate, or this cover doesn't have to come off at all. That was one mistake we made. And then the bigger support, I know you saw it a couple minutes ago, actually goes back here, and that's what the drill bit is for. You're going to drill through just like we did these two plastic pieces. You're going to do the same thing on this rear one for the rear bulkhead, so that that piece can go in there. And then the weird little plastic U-shaped thing that was in there, that actually goes to support the rear part of your motor. That was the longest part of what we were trying to figure out. But after we figured that out, it all went together pretty easily. And then you just slide this part on. You use your two big screws front and rear to tie to your shock mounts, to your bulkheads. And then there's one little screw that goes here to tie into this bracket. And then there's 4 big, like the cap head type screws. Let's see. These here, 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. That ties that nice and down in. So these 2 screws really just hold your little spacers, because that's what these do. They space, they fit in here and they space this up. Now if I can get it back in there. And then you have 2 screws that go into this rear support, and then you're done. So after we did that, again off camera, we went and tested the crap out of this thing. And so what the problem was that we were having, and other Landslide owners will probably tell you the same thing. Slide that out of the way for now. This drive shaft, this one right here, this rear one that goes from your center to your rear, without this plate, just about every jump, if you land on the rear end like I normally end up doing, I usually kind of land like this, that bends this drive shaft. With this plate though, definitely a good purchase. I'm glad that I did it. I kind of wish that I had heard about No Problems Computer and Hobbies website before. That way I would have just gotten this and stuck with the stock chassis. But the M2C chassis is definitely a good solid upgrade. I just wanted to stick to the cheaper options to begin with, and then if I kept bending it in the stock chassis, I would have upgraded eventually. But I'm kind of I kind of upgrade as I go. I don't really like to just blow all of my money to begin with on one truck. I want to see what happens, see what breaks, and upgrade that. Also, on our TikTok, I did a little video about this mod. Alright, Landslide XTE from Redcat. I've had problems with these upper arms. I've gone through like 6 of them so far. So this is what they're doing. On the inside arm, they're just cracking right there. We put in warranty claims, come in, I've soaked them in WD-40, and 1 or 2 runs, not even like bad landings, and they'll crack right there and pull out. So what I did, I went and got some of this, and I used these inside ones. So all I did is I have these long screws from Arrma wheelie bars, and I used 2 brand new ones. I threaded them into these 2 parts, and then I hacked them off so that these would fit in. And then the screws I use are a little bit smaller than the turnbuckles, so I put a little tail from a zip tie in them both, and then this one I also super glued, tightened it down, and then put them on. We're gonna let that set, see what happens. And these things haven't bent at all. I haven't had any problems. The only problem I had was one of them I didn't super glue first. I just wanted to see if the super glue was really necessary, and it is. It popped off, I put some super glue in there, tightened it back on, good to go. So that's our Landslide. Alright y'all, hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully it was informative on how this stuff gets put on to the Landslide. Like I said over and over, definitely check out M2C's website or their YouTube. I'll make sure I put links to both videos down below. Excuse me, they were very helpful. I'm looking forward to thrashing the living crap out of this truck. It's super tough now. I don't really think that I needed the actual chassis, but when I bought it, that was all M2C had in stock. And then, like I said, No Problems Computer and Hobby, thanks man, I really appreciate it, letting me know that you had it in stock, this upper brace, because this thing's bulletproof now. I'm not entirely sure it's Rick proof, but we're definitely going to be putting that to the test. Alright y'all, links down to everything down below. Check out our other social medias. Thanks y'all.